clearly, in order to bring more opportunities and cut the unemployment rate for everybody, not just African Americans and Latinos, we have to make sure that we're aggressively pursuing business and opportunity for our city. And as we all know, that's not happening. That's why we get stuck with these lackluster projects that we have to either discriminate against on bias because we don't like those things, or we have to just continue to settle for everybody else's leftovers. And that's kind of the mentality that's going on here in Norwalk for a long period of time. You know, we acknowledge the fact that we're not Stanford, but at least we can hang our hat on the fact that at least we're not Bridgeport. And I have news for you, those things are going to change pretty quickly because there's a lot of investment going on in both of those cities, and Norwalk's being left behind quickly. So if we don't get our act together in a timely fashion, you know, we're going to be behind the 8 ball even more so. And there's people out here in our city that are struggling right now. African Americans, Latinos, white families, Haitians, you name it. People are struggling just to put food on the table. Those people are often forgotten in the discussions that happen at City Hall. Those voices are often not heard loud enough when it comes down to making critical decisions on the priorities of our city. So you need a mayor that's going to go out there and aggressively pursue every opportunity that can possibly be had for Norwalk. And that's the kind of mayor that I plan on being, because we have such great potential here. We have so many great community assets that deserve to be championed more. People around the country would love to come to Norwalk. They have to hear about it first, though. And it's my job as mayor to go out there and make sure that people know that Norwalk's ready to do business, and we have great people here that are ready to work. Thank you.
Thank you. Matt.
Thank you. The issues facing our city are pretty substantial, and one of them has been the fact that we haven't had a real economic development plan in the 22 years that my wife and I have lived here. The fact of the matter is we spend all of our time talking about the kinds of buildings we're going to build and not the kinds of jobs we're going to create. 80%, historically, 80% of all jobs in the United States are created by employers of less than 10 people. And since 2008, 100% of net job growth, that's all net job growth in America, comes from employers of less than 10 people. And yet we have no plan in Norwalk to grow local entrepreneurs, to grow local jobs, to support the men and women who build businesses, who take the risk and should get the reward. And that's what a Miklave administration will do. I've already publicly said, on my first day in office, I will form an economic accelerator team. A team of professionals that will look for opportunities to create economic accelerators in Norwalk. These are places where entrepreneurs can register to get support and training and assistance and help take their idea from blackboard to marketplace. And if we have a technology incubator in the city of Norwalk, the state of Connecticut, through the Connecticut Business Industry Association, would give a grant of $30,000 apiece to every employer registered in a technology accelerator. If we had 10 employers registered in a technology accelerator in Norwalk, that would be $300,000 from the state of Connecticut to grow jobs here locally on day one. That is the difference between a Miklave administration and a Moshe administration. Thank you.
Unemployment starts after high school. And we need to engage our youth in various programs. We need to take advantage of organizations like the South Norwalk Community Center, other civic organizations, to provide job training, to provide skills, interview skills, so that young people will be prepared to go out into the job market. I've also talked about a curriculum in the school called the Life Social Skills, because we know that not every child can go to college, but we can ensure that every child has an opportunity to graduate high school, and we can ensure that every child has an opportunity to get a good job. And I'm not talking about the kind of job that a big box store brings, because those are low-paying, part-time jobs with no benefits. I'm talking about meaningful jobs with good pay and good benefits. I've been speaking to the trades unions. They're interested in what they call the job funnel, of having apprenticeship programs, so that young people can go into the trades. And believe me, folks, those are good-paying jobs. I also believe that we need to aggressively recruit. When I was the police chief in Norwalk, My goal, and we fulfilled this goal over and over again, my goal was to recruit a police department that reflected the diversity of our community. We focused on Latinos, African Americans, women, people from all ethnic backgrounds, because the police department needs to serve the community, and the people in the community need to have confidence in their police department. I believe that every city department should work the same way. The fire department, the DPW, we should be aggressively pursuing people from all walks of life. Thank you.
Thank you. Rebuttals? Vinny.
Thank you. Let me just say this as the candidate here with 8 major labor endorsements from the building trades here throughout Fairfield County and around the state of Connecticut. They're not just looking for the have-nots that can't make it through high school and maybe college isn't an option for them. You know, they're looking for the people that actually want to go into the career again of being a plumber, of being a bricklayer, of being a painter, of being an iron worker, a sheet metal worker. Those folks don't want the leftovers. They want the folks that are willing to go into that and recognize that that's a good line of work still in this day and age. Also, small and minority business owners, they need to make sure that they have a resource center that's communicating with them to let those folks know and communicate with them effectively about the great opportunities and advantages and incentives that are out there for them, not only here in Norwalk, but around the state of Connecticut and other private entities as well. Thanks.
Yeah. I think what my colleagues overlook is job training is great, but pretty unsuccessful if there are no jobs. And I don't know if anyone's paid attention lately. I was up in Bridgeport today negotiating with the Teamsters unions for construction contractors. There aren't any construction jobs out there right now. So those are good paying jobs, but they're not to be found. We need to develop a plan to grow jobs. And the best way to grow jobs isn't through government jobs. It's through the private sector. That continues to be the economic engine that will drive Norwalk. And I believe that in combination with a livable community, a sustainable community, we can be the economic engine of Fairfield County. Is it easy? No. It will take hard work? Yeah. But we have the opportunity to do that, and we can do it together.
Chief. Don't want to knock your water over. I was one of the first candidates to point out that in 2011, in October and September, just before the election, I went to 4 groundbreakings. And for 2 years, nothing happened. I made that announcement on February 24th. In 2 weeks, I got a personal telephone call from Planning and Zoning that Waypoint is suddenly pouring cement. So I'm going to take credit for that project. We have to get these projects moving. That's where the jobs are going to come. My colleague said that there are no construction jobs. That's because nothing is happening in Norwalk. We need to bring the stakeholders to the table, the developers to the table, find out why nothing is happening, and help them get moving once again. And that's the way we're going to provide jobs for people.
Thank you, Chief.